their policies and regulations. A number of new regulations have actually taken effect in China. Not only the limitation on children under the age of 18 and how long they can play online games, but they also have ordered enterprises and platforms to tighten the examination of the contents of their games, including the, according to the English version of the State Council of the People's Republic of China, they're wanting to curtail obscene and violent content. Sure, we've gone through that before. And those breeding unhealthy tendencies such as money worship, effeminacy, and the like should be removed from games. So basically, China is calling for either less effeminate or fewer effeminate men. I'm not sure.
I think one. I think the number of men they're fine with, but they want those men to be individually less effeminate.
Less effeminate men.
I think that's what they're going for.
Okay. So maybe less and fewer.
But maybe they also want fewer of the effeminate men.
I mean, it seems to me too. Like we talked about this last time. How China seems to be pretty okay about exporting all of that stuff around the world. I think this is probably another one of those situations where because the reason is that in all of look at what are all the games coming out of China and all the stuff Tencent is, the Arena of Valor and like
boobygame.com.
Yeah, like all of that and like
that's my favorite one.
What was that game we were playing about that was like the Chinese mythology game for so long on the stream there for a while? Do you remember that? And it was like that RPG.
Boobymythology.com.
I don't know. They're all the same.
Kind of they are. All very, very effeminate. Very effeminate.
Genshin Impact, that's out of China, right? Or Taiwan?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
That's got some effeminate characters in it.
Yeah, I think that's anime though. Like, actually, I tell you what, I would be willing to get on board with this if we could just kind of do this across all of anime. Like, if we could, can we negotiate this?
Jeremy, you would be destroying anime.
Right.
Would I? I will say though,
Black Desert, like that game, like gosh dang. There's a whole bunch of them.
Real quick, side digression. I was watching the latest episode of Marvel What If today, and there's a really good line where the character Killmonger, you might remember from the Black Panther movie, in this one, he's like teamed up with Tony Stark, and they're developing like a drone for war. And so like Tony Stark calls up the like little hologram thing, and he like gives him kind of like a weird look. And because it looks exactly like a mecha, like a Gundam, right? And then Killmonger's like, "What? I like anime." So, and that's the whole joke, basically. But I was like, "Oh, that's actually pretty good."
So does Otacon. Otacon likes anime too.
Otacon does like anime.
Otacon.
He likes a lot of other things too that we don't want to talk about. I will say though, pick your China though, because the other item that we've got in the news for this week is
just don't break it.
Yeah, like a bull in a china closet. Over in Taiwan, which is also the let's see, what is that? The Democratic Republic of China?
That's the People's Republic of China.
One of them is the People's Republic, and one of them is the Democratic Republic.
Wait, one of them is
Democratic People's Republic.
We're not confusing it with North Korea, are we?
It's the the DPRK of China. Anyway, Taiwan.
Good grief.
In Taiwan, the other China, we have advance notice that the Castlevania Advance Collection is rated for PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. So while one China is really cracking down on effeminacy, one other China is full steam ahead for all of the, I guess, Bishi pretty boys.
Isn't the United States government actual position that there is only one China?
But I think positions they just don't talk about it.
That's the de facto.
When they're both in the same room, you just try not to get them in this. You're like,
just don't make eye contact.
Yeah, exactly. Guys, that's going to do it for our main news. We're going to continue and finish out the show with our news speed runs. Start the music. We really got to get together on the music.
Yeah.
I'm going to kick it off with the Xbox app now allows streaming from the cloud or from the console, so you can actually play on your console now. That's cool.
That is kind of cool.
Neat.
Rocksmith Plus, which we've talked about on this show, has been delayed to 2022. Ubisoft was a little bit sketch on kind of their reasoning, but they did say that they wanted to improve the total number of tracks in the track list. There were only 500 in the beta. 5,000 is their goal for release, and they're also wanting to deal with a little bit of discovery issues. At first, they didn't even tell when they were going to release it, but they have since come out to say that they're planning on sometime next year.
In keeping with its China policy, the U.S. does not support de jure Taiwan independence, just in case you were wondering. And there was a new Wipeout game announced.
Yay! Rush. Hooray! That's just what everybody wanted.
But, well, I don't know. Tell me how fast you're going to run away from this one. It's a mobile card-based game with maybe no racing. I don't know how you have a Wipeout game. Racing.
I think it's just like the racing happens with the cards. Like you don't actually steer the things.
Maybe the cards are like which spoiler and which like engine upgrade you're going to put on your. They don't call them cars. What do they call them?
Wipeout ships.
Yeah, there you go.
Ships.
PS5 firmware update allows for SSD expansions, 3D audio, and UI improvements.
I'm downloading it now.
Yay.
Speculation arises that the Nintendo 64 games are going to be coming to the Nintendo Switch Online offering. Apparently, there was some filings with the FCC about a new controller that people are speculating is the N64 controller. So, play some crappy games on your Nintendo Switch
with a crappy controller.
Corey,
crappy controller.
Yeah, I know of all the controllers that you.
N64 is not. I mean, those games did not age well. Let's just say that.
To be fair, the Switch controller is kind of crappy too.
You know what?
That's the reason why I don't play the Switch. I've had this discussion before and ranted plenty of times, but the Nintendo Switch controller is garbage. And
video game controllers are just no good. That's what I think.
Yep. Except for the mouse and keyboard, works great.
Corey, the Balrog Barlog says that God of War Ragnarok will be the end of the series. They're not going to go for a trilogy. So after this new one with Dad Bod Thor, that's it. They're done.
Good. Elder Scrolls Online will be the first game to use NVIDIA DLAA tech.
I prefer to pronounce it DLA.
Cool.
What is this, like double layer anti-aliasing?
It uses AI to do anti-aliasing.
Which I think is interesting,
pure
particularly
graphics
for an online game too, like one where I guess I don't know, I guess you install it locally. Anyway, it's kind of cool either way.
It doesn't matter. It's that Bethesda put forth the effort to put it into their game. That's why it's there.
Yeah.
I mean, DLSS was the deep learning super sampling, which allows you to upscale lower res content to 4K and not lose power. This is basically doing the same thing, but with anti-aliasing.
Because MMOs are often like, a generation and a half behind the time.
Squidgy. They're squidgy.
Yeah.
World of Warcraft in-game paintings will be less sexually charged. Breaking news, they're going to replace them all with Final Fantasy and Castlevania. Pretty boy. No.
Have I been missing something by not paying much attention to the in-game paintings?
I mean, the thing is, if you look at it, so there's some examples floating around the internet where like there's a woman reclining, like tastefully, I would say, and she's turned into like fruit now.
Like one of your French girls?
Imagine how good that painting would look with DLAA enabled.
Look at those melons. I mean, the melons. No, really. Actual melons.
They were pineapples.
Let's see. After the Little Big Planet server hack, Sony's solution is to take them all offline forever. And I say good riddance.
It's interesting because I think the hacker was somebody who said that Sony had not treated the franchise well, and I guess he just hacked it so good that he got his wish, and now nobody gets it, I guess.
He treated it better.
Game's garbage.
Whatever. Former Bungie composer Marty O'Donnell is found to be in contempt of court and is required to pay Bungie nearly $100,000 in legal fees. This goes back to when they had a dispute over something to do with his work there. Like they just had a real big falling out. They ordered him that he should give up, and I will say what I saw, the language was a little bit ambiguous, that he should turn over to them any of the work that he had done. I guess he wasn't allowed to keep it, so now they're like submitting all of his personal technology to some forensics company to make sure that he doesn't actually have any of his old work anymore. But in the meantime, $100,000. Sorry, Mr. O'Donnell. Oops.
Apparently the GameStop stock guy caused his former employer to suffer a $4 million fine because I guess they didn't supervise him well enough to stop him from doing that.
Yeah,
So
I think
that's interesting.
aside from the stocks thing, I think he's just kind of like was kind of whooping it up a little bit somehow, just like kind of being like
Well, he
meanie and-
worked for an investment company, like a financial.
But his whole thing
company.
was he was a YouTube channel, right? Like
Yeah.
that was his side gig, right? The YouTube channel.
Yep. And the company who's
the answer to this is that the people who generally make money on the stock market are pissed that the little guy is, and they're still trying to punish him for it.
Yeah. In this case,
That's what's happening here.
Massachusetts Mutual Life Insurance Company is on the hook for $4 million.
That's
gonna
weird. Isn't this a
happen.
weird thing? Like,
It's super weird.
It is.
so stupid. I don't
Speaking of-
understand why. I mean, this dude invested what, $50,000 and turned it into like $50 million.
Yeah.
So good on him, man.
He doesn't work there anymore, by the way.
Oh, he quit in January when he became a bajillionaire. Like,
Yeah.
he doesn't care anymore.
Speaking of bajillionaires, Discord is market valued at $150 billion.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. How? What?
See, here's the thing. So once they decide to go public, here's my concern is that they're going to, right now we sort of all skate by with Discord without really.
Are they going
paying
public?
anything. They're looking at it. So this is just a sort of a market valuation sort of thing. So this is how much investors think it'll be worth somehow for some funding round, something like that. But at some point, if they do this, we're all going to be dealing with probably a worse Discord product overall as they
Then
start.
something new will come, like it happens, and we'll move over to something else. Like,
Yeah, that's probably true.
how many of these
Yeah.
pieces of software we've been through over the years? Right?
Ventrilo, TeamSpeak,
Hey, Ventrilo's still cool.
MIRC.
Ventrilo's still cool.
Mumble, anyone?
I remember
Open
Mumble.
source
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
Yeah, good stuff.
Amazon Games. I love this headline. I don't know where you got this from. Amazon Games still
I just
think they're
made it
going to
up.
make a game. I think you wrote that, didn't you?
I did write this. Yeah, that's my.
I
They
agree with
hire
it.
the
I'm
they hired the
editorializing.
Ubisoft Watch Dogs Legion guy. So this is a dude by the name of Parzo. What's his first name?
Probably like Laurence.
Alexandra Parzo.
So he was the
Anyway,
executive.
He's going to be working on a big budget competitive multiplayer game for Amazon. Didn't they already have
He's-
one of those?
He's going to be working on it.
Crucible.
Crucible. That's the
Yeah,
one.
it was a good game.
So this dude was a producer on Rainbow Six Vegas, Splinter Cell Conviction. Looks like he helped start Ubisoft Toronto, worked on Splinter Cell games and Watchdog Legion, Far Cry 5. He was working on Starlink. These are all
He's got the
games, so-
chops, but I'm pretty skeptical that.
And you know what? Amazon's giving him some money, so
Well,
this
they got
dude's
money
just
to give.
gonna, somebody called me up and said, "Hey, you want to go work for Amazon Games? And by the way, we're gonna pay you handsomely." I would probably take that offer.
Yeah, sure. Speaking of British things that no one really knows about, the television show Games Master is apparently going to be coming back in YouTube form after a 23-year absence.
I've heard this is a really good show.
I've heard
talked
it's
to my
okay.
It's
British
a
friends have told
documentary
me.
about me.
Yeah. It's
Games Master.
So this is going to be coming out on YouTube, and I don't think we know exactly when. Later this year, we'll see this. So look for our Rotten Tomatoes coverage of this in a few months.
YouTube, a couple of people on YouTube apparently found about $100,000 worth of vintage game in an abandoned hoarder house. That's cool, I guess.
That is kind of cool. I sort of wish I could do that.
That's kind of strange.
Basically, what
also
that means is
yucky.
they found one copy of Super Mario.
Super Mario Brothers. Yeah.
Link golden cartridge or whatever.
Nice, nice.
IKEA, whose chair I'm sitting in now and desk I'm sitting at now,
known for quality furniture.
Right. Is releasing a gaming series. So it's actually been out, I think, in China or something for a while, but they're releasing it globally.
How effeminate is it?
It's very feminine.
It is actually just a couple of like pretty boys like holding your table up. Yeah, gaming furniture.
I went to IKEA today, by the way.
Nice.
Freaking IKEA.
I think they partnered with like Republic of
Asus.
Gamers Yeah,
or
like
the
for some of
vases.
it, and I don't know, whatever. IKEA's
I think
releasing new furniture themed around gamers.
Here's what it looks like to me. It looks like they're old furniture, but just they've painted it like to be like extreme.
Like
Hey, that
racy.
standing desk, the standing desk legs there look 90% exactly like the set that I just bought. Except
I'm telling you, they've just reskinned it.
It's
they
a
don't have the
marketing-
gamer
it's-
parts.
This is
but
marketing.
Yeah.
you
But
can
they'll put
identify the gamer parts on this picture. My desk doesn't have the gamer parts. It just has the normal person parts.
In
Do
the
you have a standing desk at home?
pre-configured.
Is that what you
I do.
use?
Yeah,
So-
I installed one recently.
Mine could be a standing desk, but I've got it sitting. It's not like
Sitting
easy
standing
to
desk.
change.
Well, you should buy this IKEA one and put it together.
I do
in
really
a
like
couple
this
weeks.
ridiculous. I mean, it's not even ridiculous. It's just useful. The cart that you put your CPU tower on. So it's got wheels.
Looks like a skateboard to me.
So good, man.
Why would you need that ever?
To
well,
wheel your
Sometimes I got to
computer
change my
around.
to
peripherals.
put your
dude.
Mountain Dew and your gamer grub on it.
That's
I
right.
need
In
that
my Mountain
headphone
Dew
stand.
drawer.
Well,
I 3D
folks-
printed me a headphone stand and I bolted it to my wall and I hang my headphones on it.
Nice. The real ones, no. Folks, speaking of useless things that gamers need, this is your Game Bytes Show podcast. I want to thank you very much for being with us to the end of the show this week. If you have any thoughts, any comments about any of the games that we've played, any of the news that we've newsed, any of the thoughts that we've thought, let us know about that. You can find us on social media.
How do you know my thoughts?
So I do want to apologize. YouTube was mute for like 3/4 of the show.
Nice.
Windows keeps changing my sound settings on me. It's just awful.
That
Yeah,
free
anyway,
software you're using.
Look
to
for this one in
broadcast with.
syndication, I guess.
Yeah, I
I
guess.
the thing is, I had muted it so I wouldn't listen to the echoes of us, so I wouldn't have known either.
I do
but-
too. Yeah.
Well, that's why not only do you subscribe to us on YouTube, but you also subscribe to our podcast, so that when
And you
these
should-
disasters happen,
You know what? You should subscribe and get the little notification that we're live because it was one of our watchers that told me.
there you go. And if
Very
only
good.
we had
Good work, dude.
If only he'd
Yeah.
started at the beginning.
at the beginning. Yeah, well,
Next time, show
anyway.
up earlier.
Let us know all about that stuff on Twitter. You can find us collectively at Game Bytes Show on Twitter. You can also reach out to us individually. I am at Jeremy_Lamont.
You can find me at Legrand.
I'm at Count Elmdor.
And I'm at red_I.
You can also find us at GameBytesShow.com. There is also a standing link to our Discord server. Come join us there, and you can actually watch us off through Discord if you don't want to. If YouTube is too public for you and you want, actually, you can't watch us through Discord, but you can play games with us. We do game nights. We do freebies on there. We do chit chat, whatever. Come join us there as well. And of course, subscribe, like I was talking about earlier. Subscribe to the podcast feed, and when we get the highly professionally produced version of the podcast out on the airwaves, it'll be yours for the low cost of $0. Because that's how much we love you. Folks, this has been your Game Bytes Show podcast. We'll be back next week to talk to you about the news and video games that we played and all kinds of good things. Until then, this has been your Game Bytes Show podcast. Thank you so much.